Hey, what's up guys? Zach here from racingsimtools. Hope you guys are having a good day. Hey, what's up Flavio? Welcome to the stream. I hope you guys are ready to set up the Lexus here at Kyalami. For those that you don't know, the eSports SRO series just got announced. The qualifications are going to start on May 10th. So if you haven't and you plan doing getting started with that, go check that out. I posted a link on the Discord. Yeah, thanks Flavio. I'm super excited for the new oh, actually, one second. You should see a chat window here. I don't know why. Okay, that's weird. I have to look at that. The chat should be showing up here too, but maybe there's something going on with it. But let me know if the sound is okay. I had to recreate all of my OBS after I got all the art assets in. So if the sound's out of whack, let me know. We'll pause and we'll address it before doing the whole stream. I hate when I do a full stream and then I watch it back and I realize the sound was so messed up. So please let me know if that's the case. But we're gonna be starting with the Lexus. We're gonna use the Silverstone setup. The Silverstone setups have been, hit or miss. But I think they're gonna be okay for the Lexus RCF. The Aston Martin Silverstone setup was a good baseline, so I'm hoping front engine, conservative downforce on the Lexus is gonna be good as well. But we're gonna have RST open. We're gonna do some setup. I'm gonna talk you through my process. If you guys have questions on anything I'm doing, or you just want to ask a question, please let me know in the chat, and we'll make sure to get that answered for you guys. But I'm already loaded in the game, so let's go ahead and switch over. I am gonna look at one thing real quick, guys. I'm kind of curious why this chat window is not working in the cam page here. That is really strange. It almost looks like it got recreated or something. Unfortunately, there's not a really good way for me to test the chat window. For some reason with Streamlabs OBS, won't let you test it. Oh, there we go. There's the text boxes. What's up, Nico? How's it going, man? You helped me get the chat box. Let me actually increase that size real quick. Sorry I have to do this real quick, guys. Just because I normally won't be able to do this on my own. Flavio, can you say something in the chat just one more time real quick? I want to see if the font size is okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. Is that the font size good with that, guys? Is that pretty readable? Yeah, thanks, man. We're gonna go ahead and get started though. Hopefully the font size is okay. If it's a little too small, let me know, and I'll make it bigger next time. But let's go ahead and get started. I don't want to wait too much on setting up the OBS scenes. All right, let's go ahead and jump in the game. So I already have the Lexus RCF loaded up. Oh, nice, man. League racing. That sounds like a lot of fun. Are you gonna participate in SRO, Nico? The qualifying just was announced today. Qualifying starts May 10th. I'm actually gonna try to compete in the SRO America series, so we'll see what happens. Funny enough, for SRO America, the track for qualifying is Kyalami, so it's kind of like practicing while I do the streams with the setup. So it's kind of like killing 3 birds with 1 stone, which is pretty sick. But we're gonna go ahead and load the setup, guys. So like I said, we're gonna use the Silverstone setup just as a good baseline here, and then make tweaks for that. So I'm just gonna rename this real quick, so I don't think it's the release version of the Silverstone. So we'll just call it 0.1, and this is Kaya. Yeah, it's pretty good, right? Flavio, it's just about having a good setup, man. Some of the setups, or the default setups, they're not bad, but they just they're a little bit more unpredictable. Whereas once you get a good car and it just responds to your inputs the way you want, it just makes the game so much more enjoyable, I think. Let's go ahead and change this name though. So we are 1.7.8. Nico said, oh yeah, I've read the email, don't know yet, maybe I'll give it a punt. Yeah, so a lot of people didn't want to do it because it was $10 to do the qualifying. They waived it. It's free now. Only the endurance costs the entry fee, which is like $500. Okay, we're going ahead and rename that. So again, this setup, guys, it's basically just the default RST Silverstone setup. We're gonna do a few laps here. I haven't done any driving today, so I'm very fresh. I'm gonna need to do a few laps just to get up to pace and reduce that lap time variability. And then we'll adjust the pressures. I already have RST collecting data, so we'll be able to adjust those pressures and get going. Yeah, the Porsche is a lot of fun. Oh, I forgot, Flavia. You have access to the setups. Nice. Yeah, they're not, Flavia, if you go into the RST drive, they're not done yet, so we still gotta get Speed Demon's buy off on them. And my view is messed up, so let's adjust that real quick. I feel like I'm really high in this car. Am I gonna go down a little bit? Go forward just a little bit more. And then let's hide that wheel. I love in ACC how you can do all the view settings from in the game. Like, I hate the games that you can't adjust the view and like the wheel and stuff. Hey, what's up, Donk? Welcome to the stream, man. Donk said, hi, looking forward to the stream and seeing how you work. I'm interested in how to change the car set for better slip angle. Okay, man. Yeah, if you have any questions, like I said, these streams, typically I'm just going through my process. But if you have questions, let me know. We're going to be looking at our RST data. So hopefully you guys will get a lot of value from it. Another clear day here at Kyalami. Oh, not on the PS4. This feels really light. Let me, oh, no. The steering input felt really light to me. I thought maybe you can change the force feedback in the game on a car-per-car basis, so I thought I had it turned down, but nope. I might just have less camber in this setup. So we're just gonna do a few laps here, guys. Just, I haven't done any laps yet, so I just need to get a few laps under my belt so I feel a little bit more confident. And then we'll look at the tire pressures, and then we'll actually start doing setup work. Anytime you're doing setups, you always want to make sure to set up the tires first. So getting those tire pressures where they need to, working on the brake ducts because they're indirectly going to affect the tire temperature, so you kind of want to knock those at the same time. And once you get those set up, then you can start working with the suspension, and then you can start working with the preload. If you don't have the tires in the operating window, you're just going to be chasing your tail. You really want to get that in those operating windows. And for the 2019 tracks, so Kyalami is a 2019 track, even though they were on the 2020 rule set, it's a 2019 track, so it's 28 PSI because we're on the old tires. Yep, yeah, Flavio, I always do them at 11 o'clock in game time because we're trying to mimic the same conditions. So we kind of know, you know, how the cars are in performance against one another. That way we can just have consistency. So you guys know that when you have the setups, the ambient temp was around 23 Celsius and the track was around 30, and that means your pressures will be pretty good. By the way, is the music too loud or distracting to you guys? I'm really like on the fence about music. I kind of enjoy it just for the fact that I have something to listen to while I practice. But if it's distracting or you guys don't like it, let me know and we'll turn it off next stream. All right, left pressures are looking pretty low. Makes sense though. Okay, good. Yeah, I don't want it to be where it's like annoying you guys, but I want it to be like in the background, you know. I know some people are really like for music, some people don't like it. Like I said, I just like it because it has something for me to listen to. So, but I can easily turn that off and then I can only hear it. So that's why I wanted to ask. It's crazy, like it's been 80 degrees in my room all day, and as soon as I start gaming, it's already up to 82 degrees. It's crazy. So I'm already starting to think about the VHM diagram. If you guys don't know what the VHM diagram, it stands for the vehicle handling model. It's built off of the lateral polar moment of inertia versus lateral acceleration graphs that engineers use all the time. It's basically how we can translate transient behaviors with steady state behaviors. But I'm thinking about how does the car feel on those transient, you know, corner entry, corner exit. You know, what's the response like? Is the car too responsive? Do I have to be very precise? Or can I be a little bit more aggressive? Or is it too sluggish? Is it not enough response where it feels like the inputs are delayed? And then I'm also thinking about mid-corner. How does the mid-corner feel? Is the car neutral mid-corner? Is it a little bit understeer, a little bit oversteery? just to get some feedback about where I want to go with the setup here. Oh, very cool. What's up, Speed? How's it going, man? Then I got 2 admins in here today. Car is really nervous on that high speed section. I think I know why though. The Lexus has a very similar aero map as the Aston Martin. So it's going to require probably pretty similar bump stop settings. The wing might be a little bit different, so it might be a little, the CO pressure may be a little bit different because of that, but it should be fairly close, I would assume. Let us do 2 more laps. Again, trying to get a little bit of the driver practice out of the way, and then just want to make sure we're getting that nominal temperature and pressure in the tires. If you try to set the tire pressures and temperatures like lap 1 or lap 2, they're still, you know, increasing. We're still putting load in those tires. They're still heating up. So we don't want to set them prematurely, because now we might have too high pressures. My thoughts on correct FOV. Oh, that's a good question. So let's talk about that. So I know a lot of people are in the camp of you have to have a perfect calculated field of view, right? It's basically an equation. If we know the monitor size, we know the distance to our monitor, we know more or less how to set the field of view so that it looks like we're looking at a window, right? Like it would be in real life. I get where that's coming from. I think I'm kind of in the middle though. I don't like to have a field of view where it's really, really narrow, where my speed perception's kind of messed up, right? The lower the field of view, the better you'll be able to gauge some of those braking distances. So I like it for that reason. But I think, you know, having some place where you can kind of be close to the calculated, but still making, you know, modifications for how you want it to feel. My field of view is not the actually 100% correct field of view. It's actually a little bit modified, and again, just for that reason. I like it just a little bit more like perception of speed, just so it helps me gauge my mid-corner speed a little bit better. Yeah, Flavio said, I think it's a myth. Yeah, I think the people that think that it's, you know, law, are the same people that think that with like setups, right? Like there's no real 100% truth, right? It's kind of how you want to do it. And at the same time, guys, like sim racing is our hobby, right? Like enjoy it. If you're getting all caught up in these details and you're not really enjoying it, you know, you kind of need to take a step back. So I like to set the field of view for how I feel most comfortable in the car. Car feels pretty good mid-corner. Maybe a little bit of mid-corner push. The biggest thing I'm noticing is the transient. When I'm starting to trail brake in the high-speed corners, I can really feel the rear get unloaded. And it's mostly the high-speed corners, so I'm really thinking we're going to need some more bump stops. Either lower bump stop gap so it activates earlier and controls the pitch, or a little bit stiffer so that once it is engaged, it has a little bit more stopping force to keep that front ride height from getting too low. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I have a new channel on the Discord called Zeraxx Setup Tips, and in one of the articles I talk about the relationship between ride heights, the inlet area of the car underneath the underbody, and how increased velocity of the fluid decreases pressure. And we kind of talk about aero maps, how you can start to think about ride heights and controlling ride heights and how they're going to affect the center of pressure migration. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of crazy how much the human can adapt to, Flavio. Like me and Speed Demon were talking about that the other day. Like, you know, everyone's obsessed with low latency, but there's people that have, you know, they're playing on TVs and they're still really quick, and TVs have like, you know, 20 milliseconds, 30 milliseconds of latency. I think your body just naturally learns to kind of account for that, right? Either latency or field of view or whatever. You just get kind of that muscle memory and your body adapts. It's pretty crazy what the human body is capable of. Let's turn the volume up. Okay, we're gonna cross the line and then we're gonna go ahead and look at the data here. Feels like I'm really slow, but actually not too bad in terms of pace. We're shooting for more mid 42s if we can. We're at mid 43s and our pressures are not very good, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna go ahead, let's go back to the pits and let's look at that data. Donk said, I was reading your Discord guide yesterday. Very useful, and thanks for taking time to explain it all. Absolutely, Donk. You know, a lot of people, they question how intense I get with it, but I actually enjoy that part of sim racing. I do setup work in real life, and I like doing sim work because it allows me to kind of compare real life data with sim data and see what they're doing. So I love explaining those fundamentals because I'm a firm believer that you really need to understand those fundamentals if you really want to come up with really good setups. So if there's a topic, Doc, that you would like me to cover, right now I'm just kind of picking them as I wake up in the day. I'm like, hey, what do I want to talk about today? And I just do a post about it. But let me know. I can cover anything you guys are interested in. Yeah, it all comes mostly down to practice, right? Like the more you practice, the faster you're going to get. But let's go ahead and look at this data. So I already got the car parameters in there. As you guys know, I'm going to rename the file so I know in the session tree which data this is. So this is 0.1. So let's go ahead and look at this data. So I'm just going to I'm going to show you guys the difference between a lap 1 and a lap 4. So remember how I said the tire temperatures are going to be coming up? They're not going to be at those ideal pressures yet until like lap 3 or 4. Let me show that to you. So if we go to lap 1 and we look at temps, and 1 second, I am going to turn the music down just a little bit. It's like annoying me. It's like too loud. Yeah, you like him, Speed? You missed the intro, man. It's you have to watch it back when we're done. It's pretty slick. But if we look at the lap 1, let's go to ABS CMP. That stands for absolute tire pressures and temperatures and pressures. You see how this line is still increasing. And again, it's because their tire temperatures are still coming up. We're still putting load into those tires, and the heat transfer isn't hot enough inside the tire temp. So there's still some heat transfer, right? And because there's some heat transfer, the pressure is still increasing. So you don't want to adjust the pressures yet. But if we look at lap, 4, you can see, look at these pressures. They're pretty, the green line, which is the lap 4 data, it's pretty much a straight line, right? So we know at lap 4, we're pretty much at nominal pressures and temperatures. And again, you can see it's like a flat line. If we look at lap 3, looks okay. 2, maybe a little bit of increase of temperature. You don't really see it in the pressures too much, but you can see there's still just a little bit of an increase in the temperature. Anytime we add temperature, it's obviously going to change the pressure just a little bit. So again, after lap 3 or 4, we're good, but I'm just going to use lap 4 for this. So the first thing I'm looking at is the tire pressures, right? For these 2019 tires, we're really looking to get into that 20, not 20 psi. What am I thinking? 28 psi. On the 2020 sets, it's a little bit lower. It's 27.5. But again, we're on this older track, so we're on the 2019 tire. So we're gonna just kind of look through this data and look at how it changes over the course of a lap. And you can see, this is kind of the highest point for that front right. It's at 28.3 psi, and the lowest point is 27.7. So over a full lap, we're only seeing about 0.6 psi delta on the front right. But we want to get this front right down to maybe 28 psi at this. So we're gonna come down 0.3 on that front right. But you can see the front left, the red line here, it's really, really low. And again, it's because we took the Silverstone setup. And the Silverstone setup, you have to think of Silverstone as a track, right? Silverstone's got a lot of right-hand corners, which means we put a lot of load in those left-hand corners, left-hand tires. So we normally need to start the left tire pressures lower so that when they have more load in them, they come up to that 28 or 27.5 psi. This track's got a little bit more of a combination of both. So we're already too low on that left-hand side. So we need to come up a little bit just to meet it in the middle. So it looks like the left hand, the highest it ever gets to is 27.1. The lowest it looks like is 27 psi. So let's go ahead and put about 0.9 in that left hand side. So we're going to do 0.3 down on the front right because it's over pressured, and about 0.9 increased pressure on that front left because it's too low right now. And then let's look at the rear. Same thing on the rear. Let's just take the same point. The rear right is 27.9, so it's very perfect. But the front left is too low. It's like 27 psi as well. So this is going to be really easy. The front left and the front right are both about 1 psi too low, and the front right's a little bit over pressured. So we're just going to go ahead and make that change really quick. So while you guys look at the data, I'm just going to go ahead and make the change. So what did I say? 0.3 on the front right, and then 1 full PSI on both the front left and the front right, or the rear left, sorry. Wow, I cannot talk today. And then the rear right was fine. It's right around that 28 PSI, so I didn't make a change there. But before we're done with these pressures, let's look at those brake temperatures. Like I said, brake temperatures are heavily going to influence the internal temperature of the tire, which is going to affect those pressures, right? As that internal tire heats up, the air molecules, they start to, start moving faster. It causes more friction. They start to expand, right? Pressure goes up. So what we want to check for is the tire temperatures or brake temperatures. If the brake temperatures aren't in the operating mode, we might have a little bit too much wear if we're on the high side of the brake temperatures. If we're on the low side of the brake temperatures, we might lose out on some brake performance. So we want to check those real quick. So let's just go ahead and on RST, we're going to click on brakes. And we're going to fit this data. So I'm just going to hit control double click. That's going to fit the Y axis. So if I do that, now I have the full data set in there. And what we're really looking for are these brake pads on pad 2 right now to be about no higher than like peaking to 650 at the end of these braking zones and no less than 300. Out lower than 300, we're really going to start to lose some braking performance. So we want to keep it above 300, and we don't want to go much above 650 because we're going to get increased wear on those brake pads. So if we have like a short race, it's not that big of a deal. We can go higher if we absolutely need to. But on endurance races, which the RST setups for endurance racing, we are really conscious of that. So we're really trying to keep it below 600. But the front looks pretty much perfect. As you can see, we're pretty much in that 300 to 600 window. So we don't really need to touch the brake pads on the front at all. Let's look at the rear. We went above again 300, and as you can see, we're peaking down to like, what is this? 220, 230-ish. So we want to increase that brake temperature. So what we're going to do is we're going to close that brake duct just a little bit. That's going to allow less airflow through there. It's going to cool it less. But it's also going to cause more heat in the brake pad, which is what we're going after. But it's going to cause the tire pressure to come up, right? Because again, we're hitting that inside of the air of the tire, and it's going to cause the pressure to go up. One thing I also want to make sure is I didn't check the tire temperatures. As I close those brake ducts, we're going to increase that internal tire, the temperature. So if we're already on the limit of the rear tires being on that thermal limit, which is like 95 PSI, we can't go any lower on the brake duct, even if it means we need to get the brake ducts at a higher temperature. The brake temperature is higher. It's always better to have the tires in the operating window than the brakes. So we're just going to go ahead look at that just real quick. So again, ABS stands for absolute tire pressure. I think we're going to change it next update. What do you guys think? Do you think if we change the name of this to just tire pressures and then we change what is tire pressure temperatures right now to pressure camber temperature, do you think that would be more clear? I'm kind of on the fence for it because I don't want to confuse people. They've kind of gotten used to this. But I know people see ABS CMP and they don't think absolute. They're thinking of like the electronic ABS, right? So let me know in the comment what you guys think. We'll probably rename it though. But I'm looking at the rear tire temperatures, right? If I'm going to decrease that rear brake, we're going to heat them up just a little bit more. So I'm looking at the hottest temperature on the rear, and you can see it's right here, and it's only 81. So we're nowhere near 95. So I have pretty much as much range on that rear tire, or rear brake, to go down on the duct, and I'm not going to overheat the tire. So we're going to go ahead and make that change real quick. We already did the pressures. Let's go into aero and close that rear brake duct another click. And then call her good. So we're not going to make any other changes. We're just going to adjust these tire pressures. I'm going to save it as 0.2 in the setup menu. Again, always save new versions of your setups. Don't just override the same setup, because if you make a mistake and you need to go back, you can't. For better or worse, you can't. You have to remember what you did, which is not always the case. I sometimes forget. File space, if you have a good size hard drive, is free. It's always good to make as many versions of that, and then once you're done, delete them all. That's what I do. So I have this saved as version 2 now. And we didn't change anything in terms of car parameters. We didn't change, the suspension, the ride heights, anything like that. So we're not going to touch anything in our RSC. So we're good to go back in the game, and let's do some more laps. So I'm just gonna, I don't know if I loaded it or not. So we're just gonna go back one more time and load her up. Get a drink of water, dude. It's like so hot in my room. Up to 83, so we're up 3 degrees. Oh no. My heartbeat tracker thing's not working anymore. It like stopped. Let me see what's going on there real quick. Why did it do that? Let's copy this one more time. I wonder if there's some kind of weird glitch with OBS. Okay, well, we'll just hide it. Sorry guys, you guys aren't gonna get heartbeat from me today. It's kind of weird how that heartbeat monitor works. So my watch goes to my phone, right? And the watch is collecting the heartbeat. And then my phone connects to a web server which streams like what my heartbeat, like it has like a little widget for what the heartbeat is. And then I link that in OBS to that URL. It just seems like such a complex system for something like as easy as just getting your heart rate on stream. Love the sound of this car. I don't know if you guys would agree, but it's one of my favorite sounding cars. Yeah, I mean, we already knew I'm dead inside, right, Speed? It's nothing new. Speaking of dead, it's getting late your time, man. I'm surprised you're still up. So still very, very nervous on corner entry on these high-speed corners. The low speed is not that big of an issue, but these high-speed, definitely feeling it, and I just missed my braking point. So ignore that. And looking at those tire pressures, we're already seeing them come up. The left side already looks better. And the brake temps are in that nice green range. I'm kind of wondering if they're gonna, the brake duct's too low though. I feel like we're not getting enough cooling in the rears now. I'll have to see though. You still want them to get like turquoise colored. The difference between brake duct 2 and 1 is really big. It's not a linear trend. Like going from 1 to 2 is a big step, but 2 to 3 is a much smaller step. It goes 2, 3, 4 all small steps, and then anything outside of that's a big step. Yeah, I bet I'm gonna overheat these rear brake pads. We'll have to see though. We'll look at the data. Car feels much better with the correct tire pressure though. You know, a lot of these setups too, we've been having a lot of push on the right-hander downhill section. Coming up here, it's like a left-hander then a high-speed right-hander. We were getting a lot of push there. With this setup, we actually don't. And I think it's because it already had a fairly stiff rear. He's driving like an idiot right now, though. Now the front right's looking a little too low. Getting a little bit loose on me on the exit there. Probably a little bit more rear toes needed. One second, Rob. Let me get on this straight and I'll read the comment. Rob said, there's so much the game doesn't tell you. Like the ducts being a big more significant change, like 1 to 2, you say. Yeah. It's, that is a whole, like, rant you guys don't want me to get on. Speed Demon knows. I rant about the lack of documentation so much, and not just from like a gameplay perspective, right? Like also from a setup perspective, like data wise, there's so much data missing from the data output that you need to set these cars up, and it's just crazy that we don't get a lot of it. But yeah, we've looked at a lot of the game values, and it's pretty interesting what we've seen with some of those things, like the brake ducts. The brake ducts are like that for every car though, so at least it's not car specific, like brake duct curves, like a lot of the other stuff is. I feel like maybe we're already up on our delta, which is good. Ooh. Very nervous in the high speed. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's really, really twitchy. Alright, let's just do one more lap. I think the tire pressures are pretty much there, and we're gonna make an aero adjustment because I can barely drive this in the high speed. Come on, baby, get in there. I love the Lexus, man. It's such a fun car. All the front engine cars I really enjoy, except the Bentley, and I just lost it there. See, high speed. High speed's killing me there. All right, what we're gonna do is we were high enough on the brake pressures to really understand what we're needing to change. The high speed is killing me. Anytime I'm trail braking, I'm getting really, really loose, and you even saw me get loose on that corner. Again, it's kind of a high speed corner. So we're gonna have to make some adjustments to the aero. So let's first get the tire pressures fixed, because we already got like 2 laps worth of data, which is pretty close. And then we'll make that aero adjustment, and I'll tell you what I'm thinking while we're going through it. So let's just look at the data again real quick. And the reason why the rear is probably higher pressure, even though we changed it the amount we needed to from the last data, is again, those brake ducts are more closed. So I'm gonna actually have the 2 data sets overlaid one another so we can kind of see the differences here. So if I go to the brakes, yeah, okay, so get this. The difference between, like, we did the setup yesterday for like the Porsche, I think, or it was the last car we did. We changed the brake duct once and we got another 50C in the tire, in the brakes. We went down 1 click from 2 to 1, and look, we jumped up like 100 something Celsius by just 1 click. That's crazy. The rear brakes are not too bad though, honestly. I was kind of worried they were gonna get like too hot, but they're not looking too bad. I'd like to see what happens over a long run though. So you know, when we finish this setup today, I'm gonna get with Speed Demon and we're gonna do a full stint on them, and we're really gonna see how this is changing. We're not getting as much cooling down the stretch as what I would like, so I'm kind of wondering if that's gonna continue to build. Let's go ahead and look at the tire temps though. I'm kind of curious with that much more brake ducts closed, if the tire temps like skyrocketed on me. Okay, it's still not too bad. We're still looking at like 86 on the top end, so we're nowhere near 95, so we're good there. Let's go ahead and hide that earlier graph, just so I can get an indication of pressures here. We're still getting temperature too, so it could go even a little bit higher. And we're already at 28.3. So if we're going to continue to go a little bit higher, and we're already at 0.3 over, let's go down like a half on both and see where we're at. So I'm just going to go in the setup. On the rear, we're going to go down to half. Oh, crap. I forget what I was at. Law. Oh, you know what? They're pretty close to what... They're pretty even, actually, the tire pressures to get there. There must be as many left-hand turns as right-hand turns in Kyalami, or the same type of loading on them. Okay, we're going to save this as 0.3. And then in the data set here, again, I like to save it with what the setup version is, so I know like what the hell we're changing here. And I'm just going to call this pressure, so I just at a high level know what we did. So for this next setup though, version 0.3, we got the pressures on the rear down just a little bit. What I'm having that really hard time with high speed, like I'm just getting on the brakes and it's just like absolutely destroying me. So we talk about this in the Discord. One of the main purposes of the bump stops is to help prevent the front aero, like the inlet area, like the splitter underneath the area underneath the splitter. If we control the travel so it can't go super low, we'll be able to reduce some of that front downforce in the front, which will bring the balance back. You know, typically people think I don't want to limit downforce. I want as much downforce as possible. Well, if you can't use it, you do want to limit it because you want to get that center pressure backwards. You could, so okay, let's talk about this because there's an argument for this, right? So you could reduce downforce on the front, right? Or you could keep the front where it's at and decrease the rear. So the thing that you have to be careful with when you increase the rear wing is the rear wing is gonna be way more draggy than underbody dynamics. And I have in my Discord post, I explain why. You know, the wing is creating all these vortices, which, you know, have a lot of induced drag. So drag is going to be a much higher in that kind of configuration if we're trying to get the center pressure back. But also you have to think about corner entry and corner exit, right? If the balance is okay on corner exit, we're only having the issue on corner entry. More wing is also going to make corner exit bad, right? It's going to make it more understeery. If we are just moving the bump stops and it's only that corner entry phase, right? If we increase the rear wing, we're affecting the corner entry and the corner exit. So you're gonna have to be kind of mindful of that. So we're just gonna touch the bump stops. The corner exit feels fine to me. I don't want to add a lot of wing. I'm gonna get a lot of push on that uphill right-hander. So we're gonna be really careful with that. I think the wing setting is really good, but we want to change that bump stop. Oh, okay, this is why. So the bump stop range on the front right now is 8, and that probably means we're not engaging the bump stops at all. So let me see what the Aston we did. It's going to be pretty close to that, I think. So we did 3 and 800. So let's go ahead and do that here. So again, the bump stop is helping us control where we're sitting on that arrow curve. So it's allowing us to let the front from not getting so low so we can move that center pressure backwards. One thing I did notice as well is the rear on the exit was a little bit on the low speed corners, not the high speed corners, the low speed corners. I was getting a little bit of traction loss on the exit. Was kind of getting into the traction control. Camber, as we reduce camber, we're gonna get a little bit better acceleration longitudinally, but we're gonna suffer laterally. I feel like the mid corner balance is okay. I feel like I could maybe even get a little bit more mid corner like turn in. And I need that longitudinal, that straight line acceleration grip a little bit more. So I'm going to reduce the rear camber just a little bit here to like 3.2, and we'll see what happens. So again, let's go ahead and make this change. All we did is bring those rear tire pressures down a little bit. We decrease the bump stop gap so that we engage those bump stops sooner, so that it controls the front pitch. And then we decrease the rear camber because the mid corner feels fine. Now I want a little bit more traction on the exit. So we're going to go ahead and save that as version 0.3. And again, I don't need to make any adjustments to the car parameters because we haven't touched anything that the RST uses for ACC. So let's go ahead and get back to the game. One thing that I didn't mention, guys. Hey, what's up, man? Unfortunately, I cannot show the setup screen because these are these setups that we're working on right now. They're gonna go up on our website for to be part of our setup offering. I like to do these streams because it allows me to show you guys my workflow and some of the things that I'm looking for and thinking about when I'm doing setup work. And I like to show the data and how I'm using RST, but unfortunately I just can't show the setup configuration. I still talk about the setup adjustments that I'm making, so you still know what I'm doing. I just don't want people to be able to screen grab it and then, share that or whatever, so. Yeah, sorry about that. I know some people don't like that. I get it. You want to see the adjustments been made, but I think the value of these videos and these streams are more just me talking through it, understanding what I'm looking at, what I'm thinking, what adjustments I'm making and why, like the bump stop thing that we just talked about. One thing that I think really people struggle with and that I've been really noticing when I've been doing the one-on-one coaching that I offer is a lot of people, they know how to fix issues, right? They know, okay, I'm getting mid-corner understeer. Okay, let's reduce the front spring, or maybe let's increase the rear spring, or maybe they're maybe make mid-corner understeer. They reduce the preload on the differential when they're coasting, right? They know how to fix issues. They have these lists that they can go through, like those kind of cheat sheets that you see that I'm not really a fan of. But they know how to fix issues. They know the basics, right? The problem where people really struggle with, and I think if you really start thinking this way, it'll really improve how you create your setups, is when I go on track, I start thinking about the issues that I'm having, the behaviors that I see from the car, and I start to try to think, okay, what is the car doing? What is, the car, is it going into a compression zone? Is there like a curb where there's like a compression zone? Is there a rebound zone? What's the load transfer doing? Am I trail braking too aggressively? I really try to think like what the car is doing, And a good example of this is, Speed Demon knows this. We were working on the Audi at Spa, and we were having such a hard time at the top of Radeon, because if you look at Radeon, there's like a little curb, like a little valley before the curb, and it's an extension zone, and then you have that really hard compression zone. But I just really try to think about what the car's doing, right? Ask that question. And then when I go to think about how to fix that issue, I don't just think about what I need to fix. I think about all the possibilities that could be causing that, right? Maybe it's the preload, maybe it's the lateral stiffness distribution, maybe it's the aero. And I then look at the data to try to see if I can confirm any of those things. You know, if I am thinking maybe it's the preload or the spring, the lateral stiffness distribution, or maybe the aero, and I go and look at the preload graph in RST and the preload's locked, then that's a pretty good indication that that might be where the understeer is coming from, right? And vice versa. Like if the differential is unlocked and I'm still getting a lot of push there, we'd probably look at something else, right? So data is really good at answering questions of what's happening. And then in terms of what I'm actually going to change, I start thinking about what's going to impact the setup the least, right? I start thinking about those secondary effects. So for example, with the bump stops that we just talked about for aero, really helps increase you know, high speed stability, where those aerodynamics are contributing to a lot of the grip, but they hurt you in curb compliance, right? The whole reason that they're helping you control the front ride height is because they're adding stiffness to the front suspension, right? That's how they're limiting that travel. Well, that also could play against you when you're trying to go over a curb, right? As you go over a curb, if you have a lot of stiffness from the bump stops, it's really gonna hurt you. So, you know, I think about, before I make any bump stop adjustment, I'm thinking, okay, how much do I need to abuse the curves, right? Kyalami, you get on the curbs a little bit, but you can go a little bit more aggressive on the bump stop gap. You can get it a little bit lower because you're not, you know, abusing the curve, maybe like Imola, the final chicane, right? The final chicane, to get a good lap, you have to murder, I mean murder, the final chicane. So for the RC setups for the Imola, we actually didn't use a lot of bump stop to control the high speed stability, even though turn 1, 2, and 3, 4 at Imola are very high speed and very easy to get loose, especially 3, 4, because you're braking and turning around corner 3 to line up for corner 4 at high speed. But just kind of thinking about those secondary effects can really help you get the car where you want it to be. Not just thinking about how to solve the problem, but how do we solve the problem the way that impacts the car the least? All right, tire pressure is looking pretty good. Maybe a little bit too low on the rear now, but I'm gonna start pushing. Let's I totally missed my braking point at that point, but let's start. I'm gonna focus just a little bit here and see if we can get a good lap here. High speed stability through here is so much better. I think I could go a little bit more though. I can still feeling it get like a little bit nervous when I just absolutely step on it. In a hot lap condition, it wouldn't be too bad. I might even prefer it in like a qual trim, right? Because it allows me to get a little bit more rotation if I want. But in an endurance race where unexpected things happen, I might need to slam on the brakes. That could be really bad. So I'm probably just gonna, again, increase the rate. Just another click or two. Again, just trying to prevent the front from getting so low on the braking phase on the high speed corners. Let's try this lap to get a good time here. Need to increase the preload just a little bit through there as well. I feel it a little bit loose as I turn into that corner. Exactly. Yeah, a lot of people, they do get stuck on the data. Again, I use the data to help me answer questions, right? I'm still going a lot off of the driver feedback and how I want the car to feel. I'm just trying to understand what the car is doing, and that's what data really helps you understand. Yeah, a little loose there still. I was a little heavy on the brake through there, so kind of explains. I'm also gonna look at the wheel slip next time we go back in. Maybe I got the brake bias a little too far back. I'll have to see. Tire pressure looks really good. The front right is a little bit low, but I think it's because I hit a curb and lost like some PSI. Mid corner feels really good. I'm pretty happy with the way the mid corner of this car is feeling right now. Just the transient's a little bit nervous to me. Again, I'm a little bit more aggressive on the steering input though, so that probably might explain why. Alright, let's make this one count, right? Pretty good on the exit through there. Nah. It's not taking that corner right. Alright, let's go back now. So I'm gonna make those adjustments first. Get the arrow where I want, and then we'll worry about some of these other corners. So let's go ahead and look at the date again. Again, I'm gonna rename this so I know which one this was. Should be 03, I think. Why is my mouse cursor not showing up in game? So annoying. Okay, yeah, 03. 03. And what I want to look at here. Let's look at the tire pressure just one more time. Yeah, I'm pretty happy. I think I just struck a curb at one point. That's why it went down. Okay, yeah, I think the rear tires have normalized as well. So really happy with that. Brake temperature. Actually, this is probably one of the better cars for brake temperatures, surprisingly. So great question. So not really. My background, I went to school for aerospace engineering. And I took so many like elective classes. Like I had a computer programming class that I took just like I just wanted to take for fun. And I took so many computer science classes, they actually said I could take a minor, get the minor. So I got the minor, and then because I got I had a minor, they said I could get another degree, a degree in mechanical engineering. So I got that one. So I got two mechanical aerospace degrees, and then the minor computer science. But my passion is just motorsports. I love racing, and I love the engineering side of racing. It's like, well, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but I have the Porsche 917K as a tattoo, and it's like an engineering drawing of it. So I just love the engineering side. But I do setup work for local clients. So there's some local teams out here that you know, they're mostly like gentlemen guys. They just have a lot of money and they have really cool cars, and they just want it to be set up so when they go on the weekends and have fun, it feels good to them. So I help them. But yeah, I'd love to do it as a career sometime maybe. But just doing it on the side, kind of as a consultant, has been working really well for me. So the tire pressures and brakes look really good. We're not going to make any adjustments there. On 0.3, they're perfect. Let's go ahead and look at the histograms though. I have a little bit of a rebound bias on the fronts here. A rebound bias on high speed corners on the corner entry is going to make the front a little bit more nervous. And on the rear, we have pretty symmetrical, to be honest, maybe a little bit of a rebound bias. You know, the high speed instability that I was getting, it might be because of this rebound bias on the front. So let's look at what the dampening speeds are doing on that corner that downhill corner that we're having a little bit of an issue here. So this corner here specifically. Wow, these tire. Oh, actually no, they're not. Okay, I'm gonna go to dampener speeds here. Oh, oops, not at the right point. Yeah, it's like right here-ish. So the thing I'm looking here is I'm curious what speeds the dampeners are at, right? Because if I decrease the high speed rebound dampening or the low speed front rebound dampening, so I'm gonna look at just what speeds we're seeing here. And this whole section is low speed. It's like less than 100 or negative 100. So reducing that front low speed rebound probably will help me in this corner. Um, so what can I do here? Again, we're making these decisions. I could increase the front bump stop more, even more, right, to help limit that front, or I could decrease that rebound. So as I transition off the brake, when the front comes up, less front rebound will allow the front to come up quicker, which means that area underneath the car will change and the center pressure will move backwards. I think I want to go a little bit more the bump stops. I'm noticing it a little bit more on the braking phase than like the when I'm coming off the trail brake. Hey, what's up, new type? How's it going, man? Okay, great question, Donk. So in the beta, we've had this like these keybinds in there forever, but people just didn't know about them. They're actually in the beta now. If you click on controls at the top, you can't see this on stream, unfortunately. I don't know why it's not showing in the window, but graph controls will show you. But let me just show you how to do this. So they're all like mouse based. If you don't use a modifier like control or shift, um, it'll just be the X axis. So if I use the mouse wheel without any modifiers, it's the X-axis zoom. So just zoom in and out on the X-axis, not the Y-axis. If I hold control, if I double click, left mouse double click, no modifiers, it'll fit the full X-axis to the data. And then if I hold the middle mouse button with no modifiers, it'll just move the X-axis, right? So if I use control in those same keybinds, it'll be just the Y-axis instead of the X. So again, middle mouse while holding control just zooms in the Y-axis. I can move it up and down. So if I try to do this, it doesn't move, right? Because we're locking the Y-axis. And then same thing if I'm like super zoomed in and I want to fit the Y-axis, but I don't want to change my X-axis zoom, just hold control, double left click, and it'll just zoom the Y data into that window. And then shift does the X and Y at the same time, which I don't really use only when I'm fitting the full data back. One thing I do like the shift modifier though is if you hold shift and hold the left mouse button and draw like a little box, it'll zoom your data to that box, which is super cool, I think. Yeah, a lot of people don't know about that. Thanks, man. Yeah, I have the Le Mans 24 hours with the F1 McLaren on the front of my forearm, and then the Porsche 917K on the inner forearm. But yeah, we were gonna add maybe let's try a little bit above. Let's decrease that front low speed rebound just like a click or two. And then let's just add another click of bump stop rate in there. That'll again make the high speed trail brake and braking phases a little bit more higher stability. So I'm going to go ahead and make that adjustment before I forget to make that adjustment. So again, we're going to make a new version, 0.4. Dampeners, we're just going to reduce oh yeah, that's why there's a big rebound bias on the front. So we're just going to reduce the front rebound by like 2 clicks, I think, actually. Okay. And then what we're going to do is, again, adds a little bit more bump stop rate. So I'm not going to change the gap because I feel like the gap's still activating. I'm at a point, but I just want to increase the rate just a little bit. So it just helps keep the ride height just a little bit higher. And then one thing I was noticing is on this corner. So the high speed, that's probably going to solve it, right? So let's kind of move on to something new. So one thing I noticed too is that like right-hander, like you take pretty fast, but you're like you coast through it, and then it's like the third to last turn, right? Or if you hit that curb, it just like kills you. But it like you want to get close to it. I'm feeling maybe the differential unlocking because I'm getting a little unstable through there. So I'm gonna look at that real quick. So let's go ahead. Let's go to differential. I think this is off too. It does not look right to me. So on these rear traces, you should have some wheel slip, but at like max velocity at the end of the straight, it should be pretty close to 0. And it was a little too far back, so I just dropped the rear tire diameter. Again, that's how I kind of understand if I have the right tire diameters or not. But let's look at that turn. I'm curious if the differential is unlocking. Where am I at in the data? I don't know this track map very well. I think that turn is, yeah, it's right here. So remember I said it's a big like coast area where I'm not on the brake, but I'm not on the throttle. I can't take it flat. And you can see the differential is unlocking. So let's see what the differential setting. Okay, it's pretty low actually. So if I decrease that preload, that will cause that to maybe stay a little bit more close, which will add a little bit of stability. And the reason why I add stability is when the differential is locked, there's a little bit of resistance for the car to rotate, right? Because we're allowing the inside and outside driven axle, so the rear tires, to rotate at the same speed, right? And they don't want to rotate at the same speed because the outside has to rotate faster because it has more distance to travel, right? So by keeping that differential locked, it adds a little bit of a torque so that the car can't just freely rotate, which typically you don't want because you don't want any resistance to turn in, but here it'll add a little bit of stability at this turn. So I'm just going to go up on the preload just a little bit here. And then, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So let's see what this gets us. I'm just look at the tire wear too of that last lap just real quick. Yeah, really, really even. That's the one thing I really like about the Lexus, guys, is the tire wear is just phenomenal on this car. All right. Setup adjustments made. Let's make this 0. What version are we on? Should be on 0.4 now. All right. So one thing I am going to do is I'm going to drop that front ARB just one click too. I'm feeling a little bit too responsive for me. So I'm just going to reduce that front just a little bit. It should add a little bit better mid corner now that I added some preload, right? Should help move that lateral substitution back, which should give me a little bit more oversteer because now that I've moved that preload, it might have a little bit too much resistance to turn in. One thing I need to adjust though is the car parameters. Anytime I adjust that roll bar or spring rates or any of that stuff, I got to change the car parameters in RC. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. I'm just going to click on File, Next Session, Car Parameters. And all I've changed is the front ARB. That's the only thing I need to change. So I've gone from a setting of, let's see, what was I at? 6.4. I was at 7.4. And now I'm at 6.4. So I actually had these in wrong anyways. Okay, so that was 47. This was 9. So let me go ahead and fix that data too so that it was right. Really, really important to have these car parameters filled out, especially when you're going to go back through and compare different setups. 4. And then I'm going to be lazy and I don't want to retype this every time. So I'm just going to save this as RCF, save it, boom, good to go. And then what I'm going to do is load these up so I don't have to retype. I wish you guys could see the car parameter. I don't know why you guys can't see that on stream. Probably some weird glitch, maybe. Let me just get these car parameters in order real quick, guys. Sorry about this. Okay, I think we're good now. All right. Oh, geez. Of course I made a mistake. I actually typed that in wrong too. Okay. Let's just edit these real quick. Even I make these mistakes, guys. All right, there we go. $51.9. And now if I go to File, Next Session, Car Parameters, it should be $47.9. Okay. We are good. We're good. Okay. Let's go ahead, get back on there. Hey, what's up, Epic Sim Racing? How's it going, man? So ACC does not give you aero load data, but what we do have is we have a suspension and we know the displacement of the suspension. And if we know all the elements that add stiffness to that suspension, if we know the deflection of the suspension, we can know what the load is on that tire or on that suspension, right? So that's how RC works. That's why we have to have all the car parameters 100% right. So that when we look at the displacement, we can correctly correlate the load, right? If you don't have the correct car parameters in there, it's not going to be correct. So I just really, we are going to look at some load data here in a second. So that's why I was just making sure everything looked good. So I didn't want any issues in that regard. Okay, I'm just resaving this real quick. I don't know if I had the, yeah, we're good. All right, let's do it. Let's get back to it. Let's hit continue. What's the temperature at too? Curious if it's getting warmer. Not too bad. Still 24C. How you doing, Epic Sim Racing? Thanks for stopping by, man. Sorry if you can hear me chomping on that ice. Sometimes I gotta eat the ice because it gets so hot in this damn room. Already up to 84 degrees. Maybe that's what I should show you guys. Not the my heart rate on the stream, but maybe I should show you the temperature of my room on stream. Awesome, man. Really cool. Did you guys watch the GT America race that was this past weekend? I was watching race 1. There was 2 races. I was watching the GT3 race last night. Got like 30 more minutes to finish today, but really super excited to see racing again. Last year was a little bit depressing, not because of just COVID, but because we had no racing for a good part of the year. Oh yeah, car's feeling. I forgot I was gonna check the brake bias. Oh well. Car does feel really good. Nice, man. Nice. Congrats. I cannot drive the Bentley. I don't know why. I'm really good with the other front engine cars, but the Bentley I just cannot drive. Much better through there. Might even be too much now. I'll have to see once the tire pressures come up. Yeah, tire pressure on the rear is still a little bit on the low side, so hopefully they'll come up soon. In some of these low speed corners, as I get on the throttle, I'm just having a little bit of issue with the traction. Oh, that's high speed stability still not there. Maybe I should have went another click on the bump stop rate. Nice. 100, pretty good, man. I've been really struggling with SA because I've been racing the AI so much here, and they just pump me on this this turn right here. Let's try not to make a mistake. Let's actually put this through its paces. Again, trying to get like mid 42. It's having a little bit of issue with some of the stability on some of these corners. Oh yeah, I knew CC was car control. I have no idea what affects them though. I think changing that front ARB is screwing me over. I think instead of decreasing the front, I think I need to go back up a click and decrease the rear to get some response out. So anytime you change the ARB and it's transient, it's gonna make it less responsive, right? It's less stiff, the roll radius will go up. But mid corner, it matters which one you do. If you decrease the front, you're obviously gonna have a little bit more towards oversteer. If you do the rear, increase the rear, it's gonna go a little bit towards oversteer. But I went down, so I think maybe I need to go back up on the front but reduce the rear. Yeah, it's really easy to drift with these cars. That was much better on the brakes, turn one. There we go. Oh, I totally missed my braking zone too. Alright, let's go back. Still kind of worried about that high speed. Look at the data real quick. What version were we on for that? Oh, alright, that was 0.4. Where am I looking? Okay. They're a little bit more locked right here. Not very much though. Did feel much better. Oh, okay, here, that's why. I'm gonna look at the ride heights too. I want to compare these ride heights to see how the brake. So here I got two different laps here, right? We got 0-2, which is before we did any bump stop work, and then I got this one, which we went up even more on the bump stops here. Let's see into that corner what's going on. So let's see, which one am I looking at? Front is red and blue. I want to look at it when I'm like hard on the brake. Let's see. So the front's red and blue, which is lower, and the yellow and green is the bump stop. So you can see I have a good, what is that? 3 millimeters higher on the front now because I've added that bump stop. So it's definitely working. All right. Let me see something real quick. I'm gonna load up the Silverstone setup. I'm curious. I'm gonna actually flip the air map for this car real quick. Yeah, I use Stream Beats, man. It's pretty good. I haven't needed to use anything else. So the front ride height here, we want it to really be, what is that? 52. What are we at now? I'm gonna ride height. What's the front at now? Front is 40 to 50. So still on these really hard trail braking, I'm getting really low. See what the ride height is. Static ride height too. Okay, let's go up the Silverstone data for this car. Here's what the ride heights look like that over that track. So I'm just trying to look at the ride height envelopes for our Silverstone setup, which was really good, and this setup to see if they're different in some way. So you can see the rear is much higher on this setup than it ever got on the Silverstone. So the rear is the x-axis, so the blue is getting like way down there. You can see it. The front was about the same, but the rear was less. A lot less. What's the difference here? It's like 5 mil. It's like 3 mil of rake out then. Let's see. I'm gonna look at the air map too. So if you look at the Silverstone setup, the ride height was definitely a lot lower. So I'm wondering if that's where some of the aero stability is coming from too. Maybe the rear is just getting too unloaded on that downhill section. What am I looking for? Ride heights on the rear. Oh, yeah, the rear can go much lower. Okay. All right, let's try that. Okay, so all I did was change that rear ride height. So 0.5. I didn't touch the ARB because remember how I said it was oversteering? I thought maybe it's because I decreased the front too much. Now that I'd reduced that rake, it might be exactly where it needs to be. So let's see if the rake, because when I reduce the rake, we're gonna add a little bit more push mid corner. Let's see if that helps it. If it's still too oversteer, I might look at the ARB. But again, I'm just trying to change this mid corner behavior just a little bit here. I need to update these car parameters though now, because now we are at different ride height. So 52, and now I'm going down to 76. And then that will change the static heights, but we'll get those when we go on the track. Okay, so that should be good. We'll do the static ride heights when we get back. So let's just go ahead and do a lap. And then what we'll do is we'll get the static ride heights. Rob said, any chance the McLaren 720S is done for Silverstone? I'm on my cell and don't want to tune out to check. Yeah, it's on the website, Rob. All of the Silverstone setups are on the website. And I think we did the stream for that one too. So if you want to see the thinking through that, you can. All right, let's try this. So all I done for this adjustment is reduce that rear rake just a little bit. Because when I look at the Silverstone data, again, I was curious how the ride heights, the ride height envelope was different because we didn't have aero instability at Silverstone, right? And it looked like the rear on average was about 5 mil lower. So I'm gonna try that, see what happens. Oh, that's what I get for looking at the chat. Yeah, no problem, man. You got a race coming up in the McLaren at the Silverstone. That car is a beast. Absolute beast at Silverstone. Elliot, it's so hard to drive and drink at the same time. You need like a, what do they call it, Camelback? Epic Sim Racing said, you know, we could see the setup just there when you change it. Think you don't want to show that if I'm, yeah. I didn't know that you did, but oh well. I'm not that worried about it. Again, if it happens, it happens. Ah. Alright, I need to like actually focus here. Track temp is still good. Really looking at the ambient temps to see if they're changing too much. Yeah, that made a huge difference. Car feels a lot better. 140s? Yeah, no way, dude. If I could get in the mid 42s, I'd be happy. We'll see though. Man, I'm just losing a little bit of traction on the exits here. Kind of want to try going down to click on spring. Oh yeah, that's perfect through there. Yeah, that ride height change definitely fixed that arrow. Already up. Nice. No, I haven't. I just do the streams where we do all these streams. I broke way too early there. There's just so many like things you have to consider with all these different cars. I don't know if you could really effectively compare them in a video. They just require like so many different setup approaches. Like the Bentley, you know, it's got a long wheelbase, all the weight's up front, so there's some things you got to do with that. You know, the Porsche, all the weight's in the back's really short wheelbase. It just requires so many different unique considerations. Yeah, I'm losing too much traction on the rear. I think we're gonna have to soften the rear spring, but then increase the rear ARB to bring the cornering balance back to where it is now. I think the rear spring is a little too stiff maybe. That feels amazing though. That feels really good. Compared to where we started. Thing is, if I decrease that rear spring, that is going to be an issue, I think, like it was in the other cars. Driving like an idiot today. Differential feels good. When I get on throttle, I'm loading up the rears too much. Like you can totally feel it. Again, it's that longitudinal stiffness versus the lateral stiffness. Just too stiff longitudinally. But laterally feels awesome. Like the cornering right here, awesome. But as soon as I get on the throttle, it just starts to get loose. See how this, yeah, this feels so good now. I can be so aggressive on the inputs there. Absolutely no issue. There you go. What do you mean you feel by watching? I'm not really sure what you mean by that. Feels good. It's just like I said, when I get on throttle, that transient corner exit, right? And the bumps, the compression damping on the rear is already low, so I don't want to go lower. I think I just need to increase the rear spring, and then I need to change the ARB snippets to balance it. Yeah, see, like, this is a good lap. I'm just losing all that time on the exits. Right there, you can just see it. Alright, let's go ahead and make that adjustment. So let's go ahead and get back here. One thing, we need to do the static ride heights. I almost forgot. So let me do that real quick. I'm just gonna go. So a lot of people, they stop on track. I just literally on the pit limiter, use the pit limiter and get the static ride heights that way. So I'm just gonna go time. Gonna go to stability. And then I'm looking at the, when I'm on the pit limiter. Oh, this is the wrong data. Lol. Oh, I hope I changed the... Okay, yeah, I changed it right there. Okay, I just gotta come here. Okay, so you can tell we're on the pit limiter because like if I go to damper speeds, you can see I'm moving here, but actually no, I'm not. I think it's because this was like the pit limit. The pit is like on one side of the thing and then you come out the other side. Yeah, it's right here. Okay. Yeah, here we go. So you see this like little like cliff here? Right here. This is where I'm on the pit limiter, 50 kph. So what I'm going to do is I'm just put there, go to differential, look at travel values here. So on the front we're like 17, on the rear we're at 18. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make that adjustment. It actually didn't really affect it too much, just the rear one, which makes sense. We changed the rear just one click. So, oh, you guys cannot see what I'm doing. No, Epic Sim Racing. We do all of our setups for 23C, so it's a good representation of a race. We wouldn't want to do 8C because not a lot of races aren't at AC. So, but let's go ahead and I'm gonna compare the ride heights now that we just saw with the ride heights we had from Silverstone. See if maybe we're in that. So this is why I like the ride height envelope, is it gives you a good indication of where you were. So again, this red that you see right here is the Silverstone data. So this is the data from like an earlier lap, and you can see it's a little bit higher on the backside, right? It goes a little bit higher than the red data, and that's the rear ride heights. So I know dynamically I'm getting higher rear ride heights than I did at Silverstone when I didn't have issues. So now if I look at the data for this, you can see it's a little bit lower. See, it's like pretty much matching what the Silverstone data is, and that you could really feel it through that high speed right hander. Really no issue with the high speed stability now. One thing I do want to check is I'm gonna go ahead and remove this data because I don't need it anymore. Let's see how the dampening is different. Yeah, not much of very many biases in here, so I think that's good. I want to check though. 144. Damn, that was slow. I'm gonna check the lateral stiffness distribution here. I'm looking, we are the blue data, which is, I'm going to save this so I don't forget. So this is 0.5. You know, the lateral stiffness distribution is pretty much following along. So that's pretty good. Let's look at what our roll gradients are, because I'm going to try that, making that rear soft. So again, remember I said when I get on throttle, I just feel all that wheel spin. What I'm going to do is I'm going to soften the rear spring, but that's going to affect my lateral stiffness, right? It's going to make me understeer a little bit more. So I don't want to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to decrease that rear spring, so when I get on throttle, it's a little bit more progressive. I don't just load up the rears really quickly. And then what I'm going to do is to bring that lateral balance back is I'm going to increase the rear ARB. So the net effect is that the rear roll gradient shouldn't change that much. If it has changed a lot after making this channel, I need to go either more clicks on the rear AB or less clicks. So we'll figure it out. No, why would my neck hurt, man? Oh, just because I'm like looking down at this monitor. Yeah, I mean, I only look at it for like an hour or two when I'm streaming, so it's not too bad. But let's look at the roll gradients just so we know where they're at. So 0.43 and 0.56. So let's go ahead and make that setup adjustment and just see what happens. I'm kind of worried that up that right-hander, that fast right-hander, I'm going to have a lot of push now. But let's see. 136. Okay. So I need to change the car parameters again, because now we have dropped the rear spring a click. So we're at 136 on here. And then let's see. I went up on the rear ARB to combat that. So now my rear ARB stiffness is 10.4. Okay, so again, what this should do is it should make it a little bit more progressive when I get on throttle, but the mid corner should be fine because I increased the rear ARB. So let's give that a go and see how she feels. Again, version 0.6. And then I make sure I got that in the next car parameters. Yeah, we're just trying to get more traction out of these some of these low speed corners. Making a lot of setup adjustments today, guys. Sometimes these cars are just a little bit, more wishy-washy. Like sometimes you can get a good setup from Silverstone, sometimes that element not. But we're gonna figure it out. Good exercise for me to kind of walk you guys through these things. Nope. You can't. You have to set the car parameters so that the RST knows the configuration of the car, so when you do the math channels, the math is correct. Let me get some tire temp in here. Yeah, see, now it's pushing a little bit through there. That's what I was kind of worried about. But tire temperatures are still really precious, really low in the rear, so we'll see. Man, I'm getting like this weird stutter with the game. It's weird. So we have a race. Me and Speed Demon have a race this weekend, but I don't know how long it is, so I don't know if I'll stream it. I'm definitely, if I can get into the SRO America series, I'll definitely stream all those though. Yeah, the races are a little bit more fun to stream just because I don't have to explain everything that I'm doing, right? I can just race, which is fun. But I really do enjoy these streams. Yeah, I'm walking up the rear a little bit too much through there. Alright, pressures are coming up, so let's start pushing here. Nice. If I could... There we go. All right. It's a little bit more pushy through there, but it's not bad. Ooh, all right, come on, let's see what happens. Yeah, I'm getting a little more pressure on the front now. I think the temperatures have come up quite a bit. Yeah, we're up like 3C from where we started, so we might have to restart just so we can get the temps down. You can definitely feel it's like, I wish I could split the spring difference. The last setting is too stiff and this setting is too soft. It's not horrible, but you can definitely tell the difference here. That was a pretty good exit though. I'm gonna try turning the TC down a clip. Now that we got a little bit more tame. Nice, that was a good exit. Braking is just not as good when you take out the rake in the car. Not happy with that. Let's go back. Let's look at something real quick. This was 06. So this was a softer rear spring, and it definitely felt softer. You can see the rear roll gradient. It's a little bit higher, so I probably could have gone another click on the front, the rear ARB, to get it down back to kind of where it was with the other setup. I want to look at the wheel speeds though. I'm kind of curious how much I'm slipping the rears now. Well, that's not a good lap. Got a little wheel spin on the exit. Let's look at the downhill. Oh, let's look at this downhill corner where sometimes I don't get the traction out there that I need. So I definitely got better traction out there. The yellow is the softer spring, and the blue is the harder spring. You can definitely see I got a little less wheel slip on the exit there. Scarlet, get out of here. I don't know if you guys can see that. My dog. Do you see this? Scarlet, it's okay. He wants me to give her a treat. So let's see if we can go higher on the rear. Because if I'm not back to the cornering bounce I was before. Now we're getting into a sticky situation, guys. Just thinking. I wish I could split the difference between the rear. Hmm. Look at the turn one too. I feel like I'm locking up the front so much. Yeah, I'm getting so much lock on the front. It's crazy. Brake bias is set pretty much ideal though. What do we want to do? We could add the rake back. That will give us the mid-corner balance back to where we want. Now the arrow is going to be an issue, but it'll get improved turn one braking. As the rake increases, your braking efficiency gets a little bit better. No, it's not. It feels pretty good. It's just the braking and the high speed. Mm-hmm. Let's try. Let's go back to the original ride heights, but at the soft spring setting. And you know what I'm gonna do too? The high speed dampening on that uphill. I think that'll help us. So I think that might be a little bumpy. Let's see. Because that's really the only place I'm having an issue with the lower spring is that uphill right hander. The high speed one, it just pushes so bad through there now. But maybe, just maybe, so it's right here. Yeah, right here. You can see I actually got off on it because I was going wide here. Let's look at the dampening speeds through there. Yeah, so high speed dampening should definitely give me more rotation there because it's kind of bumpy through that turn. So maybe that's what I do. Maybe the rear spring, I don't want to go higher because again I was losing the traction, but maybe I keep the low spring and then I add some rear bump to get that that turn in on that high speed because it's obviously a little bumpy through there. Question is, do I want to do? Let's do a little bit of fast bump. Brake balance is good. What's the tire wear looking like? So intermittent out on the front left's 90, 82, so 8, and the rear it's 6. So that's good. That's kind of where I'd want it, to be honest. Okay, let's try this. I'm trying to like not touch the arrow at any possible way. I don't want to add another click of rear wing because it's going to be really pushy and then it's going to be really oversteery in the mid slow stuff. When I changed this back to the old ride height, but I'm going to keep the softer spring in. I did increase the rear ARB too. Just a little bit. So that will put me at 11.6. All right, let's do it. Let's go back to the game. RST. Oh, I'm not in the car actually. Might help to get in the car before hitting start, right guys? Alright, let's get it. So I kept the rear spring, but I basically increased the rear high-speed compression dampening because it's bumpy on that uphill right-hander. So I'm hoping that gives me just enough stiffness that I need to be able to get the rotation on that uphill right-hander that I want. Oh yeah, there we go. Nice. That felt really good. Still pressures are so low, so we'll hold our judgment, but I think that is going to do the trick. So again, making those setup adjustments so that you like take different approaches, right? Like we were kind of stuck between two spring rates, and we just used a little bit of high-speed compression dampening to add some stiffness because we looked at the dampening speeds and we found out that the bottom of that turn is a little bumpy. So that'll help rotate the car a little bit more on throttle. We are gonna have to reset the oh yeah, brake feels much better too. Again, when you start to take the rake out, it really kills your braking performance. You just don't have as much load on that front anymore. I totally missed the apex, so that was totally my fault. See if we can get it back though. If we can get it back, that'd be pretty cool. Keep wanting to use those curves, but I'm just like being a little too aggressive on them. Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. It's always fun when there's people and kind of hanging out, working on these setups rather than just me by myself. Always appreciate it. Hopefully you guys learn a few things too. Oh yeah, okay, if we could just get back to that time, I think this will be pretty good. It literally is perfect in the high speed through there now. I'm just driving like an idiot. It's like stuttering on me, the game is, and it's totally just throwing me off. Like a little micro stutter. It's kind of weird. Usually I have whatchamacallit, game sync on, but I've been not using it because it's been lagging my system. But it definitely takes care of these like little micro stutters or screen tearing that I see that this throws me off. I'm gonna try ABS 3. That was good. Damn game stuttering, dude. Finally up on the delta and the game stutters and it totally kills my corner. That feels so good with that extra high speed compression dampening though. That is literally like perfect through there. Alright, let's restart real quick because it's temperatures are getting kind of hot. I want to get it back down to that 23°C. And I'm pretty happy with that. Let's look at the data real quick. Just checking the car parameters just to make sure I entered them right again. Okay, I see. Yeah, you can see this little these bumps here are a little bit higher now with that extra rear compression dampening, which is definitely helping it on the corner exit there, on that uphill right hander as it gets a little bumpy. One thing I want to do though, so I want to look at these lap times. Looks like my best lap time was at the start, probably because it was the coldest. I want to see where I'm losing the time right now. Look how much I've improved that downhill section. That corner I'm just not taking very good now. Like my line's just different. What's the red? You know what it probably is? Oh, the game just crashed. I think I know what it is. Let's try this. I'm gonna increase this gap just a little bit more. One second, guys. The game, RST just crashed on me. Oh no, it's like not detecting the game window, I guess. We'll take the calculator first. Okay, main window. Okay, there we go. Brought her back. What was the tire wear? Oh, I didn't see the tire wear. Okay. All right, let's see what we do. We're getting pretty close though. I think a lot of that time was just lost because the temperatures were like coming up. Oh, I just killed my car. I meant to switch the scene. I killed the car. That's funny. Oh, now I gotta stop too. Come on. There he goes. So let's see. It's funny. I picked the Lexus because I thought it would be a little bit easier because I didn't really sleep a lot last night, and it ends up being kind of a one that's giving me a run for my money. Which is kind of ironic. Watch, one of the cars that I usually hate, like the BMW or something, would be super easy to set up here. So all I did, guys, was that I just bumped up the front bump stop gap just one click. I think maybe the reason I was losing all that time in that sector now was because I was the curb when I get on there was a little bit too unsettling. So we'll see. Hey, what's up, Dilemma? How's it going, man? Yeah, I didn't sleep. I was up, and then I ended up watching the GT America race. Funny enough. Oh dang, dude! I haven't. It's crazy. We don't get any rain in Phoenix. Like, it's very, very rare that we get rain. So it's like I'm the complete opposite. It's like always sunny here. I miss the rain though. I used to live in Maryland, and we used to get a lot of rain. Dude, thank you. Yeah, appreciate it, man. We definitely put a lot of love and time into them. As you can see here, as I struggle with the Lexus here. This is I mean, as much as I hate it, at the same time, this is why I love doing setup work, is because it's like every car, every track is a new puzzle, right? And you just gotta figure it out. And that felt really nice. Oh no, what kind of issues, Dilemma? Has it been like crashing for you, or? Interesting. I'll have to look at it. I know we're gonna change the like the architecture for the database, so we did find some stuff with it that was maybe causing some issues. I wonder if that's what's causing your issue. We are gonna look at it next update though, so. Oh, there we go. There's my fastest lap, 42.9. Let's see if we can beat that though. Setup feels really, really good, but I think there's some like fine details that we might be able to tune a little bit better. Okay, yeah, we'll take a look at that, man. Thank you for reporting it. We'll definitely take a look and see if we can figure out what's going on. There we go. That's a really good exit. I think that this car just really struggles with low speed corner exit, to be honest. I wouldn't want to go much softer with it either. It's already, the rear is already feeling a little bit soft for me, but it's not bad. Let's give it another go. Trying to think what the car needs too. As you get like closer to it, like it's harder to like know because the car just feels good. You know what I'm saying? And it's like too much curve there. I don't know why I keep messing that corner up. Like the car feels fine. I just keep turning in way too early. You know what? I blame it because of the view. Let me fix the view. I'm usually way closer up. I think I'm normally like 25. There we go. Let's try that. I'm wondering if that's why my like wasn't doing very well, because my vision, like it was way smaller screen, so maybe I was missing the corner because of that. We'll see. It's probably just because I was being terror bad. Done so many laps at Kyalami, man. That's not good. Alright, I'm gonna go back to the pits. Let's see what the tire wear is right now. I'm kind of curious. I feel like I'm just lighting up the rear still. Why didn't it? That's weird. No tires set there. Let's look at the data real quick. I'm kind of curious just to see what the wheel spin on the rear is. We are in the Lexus RCF. There it is. Okay, I think this is like 5 off too. Let's do this. I'm really curious to see. Oh, that's a ton of wheel slip through there. Why is that so? Why is that getting so much wheel slip right there? Must just be trail braking really hard at that point. What's like the brake bias? Oh, interesting. The brake is like bouncy here, so the brake bias is like going up and down, up and down. Let's see if there's any other places though. 10% definitely getting up there in terms of wheel spin. And this is off cambered, so I kind of know that. I mean, what else can I do? I need to make it a little softer on the rear, but I don't want to go another spring. No, dilemma. Usually I do dampening for transient, so I get that transient how I feel. Because like if you're doing steady state, the springs, ARB, all that's gonna affect steady state and transient, whereas dampening is only in transient. The only time it helps with steady state is if it's like bumpy. So that's why when on that uphill right hander, we looked at the dampener speeds to see if maybe the dampeners were being activated, and they were. So I increased the high speed rear rebound, rear compression dampening. Actually gave me more rotation, so that was really good. I'm just getting a little bit of wheel spin on the exit here. What are the speeds that we're talking about? Are these high speed or low speed corners? All right, we're gonna try way less camber. Hey, what's up, Cardo? How's it going, man? We're just thinking right now. Sorry. Trying to think what's going on. So again, I'm thinking about what the car is doing. Right now, it's the rear traction. We're just getting a little too much wheel slip. That's really the only issue. We're getting bad corner exits because of the wheel slip. And you can see it's the worst on that left-hander at the top of the hill and that off-camber turn. It's also pretty bad. Just like too much power. This is tricky. All right, let's try this. There's got a little less camber on the tires. I literally just want to compare these two to see. So I'm going to say rear camber for this was 3.5. And this new one, it's going to be 2.8. So we went way down on it. I want to compare the deltas. So the off camber turn, if we have more camber, that's obviously going to hurt us, right? Because it's off cambered. And then the top of the hill, when we're trying to get that good exit, that is also very flat. And it's pretty much straight line. So I'm hoping a little less rear camber gives us a little bit better traction on the exit. We'll have to see though. Mid corner might be a little hairy now because we're not rocking nearly as much rear camber as we were. Then we're just trying to get the rear to have a little bit more traction for us. Funny thing is, it feels pretty good at these low pressures. Just when it gets up to normal operating pressure, it doesn't feel as good. Felt pretty good, actually. Woo, using all the track. Alright, start pushing. Let's see what happens. God, that high speed just feels so nice now, though. It literally feels perfect. Nice. That felt really good. All right. Come on. Nice. There we go. Look at that delta. Let's go. Broke too hard there. Nice. Oh, how did I invalidate? What the hell? Did I hit the... Okay, we got some pace in here. We just gotta put it all together, I think. I'm pretty happy with the setup. Honestly, it feels pretty good. Yeah, we can easily do mid 42 with this setup now. See if we put it all together though. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the setup. Let's keep missing this turn, but when I take it right, it feels good. See, I just went up 3 tenths there. Alright, see if we can keep it together now. Don't brake too hard, Zach. Nice. Of course, and I hit the curb. Just destroyed my time. Well, at least we're pretty green on that lap. That's good. Thinking this is gonna be the setup, guys. There we go. Finally took that corner the way it's supposed to be taken. Jeez. Yeah, it feels really good, Cardo. It's definitely way more stable than what we started with. Very consistent, very predictable. Pretty happy with it. There you go. Pretty consistently in the low 43s now. No 44s like we were doing earlier. See, when I take that too shallow, I do that. I go wide. And then I try to save it and unsettle the car. Even with making some mistakes though, I'm not doing too bad here. Cardo said, do you use FF while doing a setup? I'm kind of confused with that. What do you mean FF? Oh, FFT? Not really. So FFT is good for games where the dampening ranges are way different. In ACC, the dampening ranges are pretty much where they should be, so you're never really under dampened, which is what the FFT kind of helps you identify if there's a undampened oscillations. Alright, let's go ahead in this lap. Let's go ahead and look at the data real quick. I'm really happy with that though. I think it feels really, really nice. Very, very predictable. Curious what the tire wear is. But let's go ahead. I want to compare these 2 laps. And we are in the Lexus RCF. So where is that in the drop down? There it is. Okay, so let's compare the wheel slip on those corners where we're getting a lot of wheel slip. Okay, so 0 and 1. So I'm still getting about the same amount of wheel slip on the rear there, to be honest. Even with the less camber. What about this turn though? So I'm looking at the yellow and blue in comparison. I mean, they're pretty much the same, honestly. Let's see if I can find a like where I'm like just as progressive here. The problem is my throttle input's like changing so much every lap there. Probably a lot of this is driver issue. Let's go to air. I want to compare these two. I mean, I'm not really losing anything by changing the camera there, or am I? Oh, I'm looking at the I'm looking at the wrong one. That's why. Okay. What's the red? Interesting. Yeah, let's look at the. I'm kind of curious actually. Yeah, see, no, it looks okay. What's the roll of the car through there? So I'm curious what the roll is under modal analysis. So we got a lot of roll in the car. That's probably why I'm not really seeing that much on the rear traction. Let's go the other direction. Okay, so the car might be rolling too much, and we're losing too much camber. So let's try this. Instead of going less camber to try to optimize the longitudinal, let's see if maybe it needs more camber through those turns. Cardo said, so it's a rough guide for the damper. It's not that an important ACC. Is that right? Yeah, exactly, Cardo. Really, the histograms and then looking at your dampener speeds and then like the load graphs is pretty important there as well. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna try something real quick too. I'm actually gonna play with that idea. Let's drop the rear just another quick. I'm curious if we're just getting too much body roll through that corner, because that corner is like where we have a lot of steering input into it, and I'm wondering if it's just the rear, because it has being so high, it's just gripping up a little too much through there. I don't know, Flicker. I haven't really driven the old McLaren that much, so I don't really know, man. Are you gonna drive the older one for a like an endurance, like a league race or something? Honestly, I just play with like the new content. That's like mostly where I spend like most of my time. That actually helped a lot having that lower. Let's see though. Oh, I totally missed my turn in point. Alright, let's see what happens here. Unless I get a horrible exit onto the straight. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I'm not sure, man. Yeah, we just been doing mostly setups for the new content. So like all the new 2020 cars. Alright, temperatures are still the same, so delta should be representative. Even with those mistakes, we're up a little bit. Alright, this is the true test here. Oh yeah, much better through there. Much better. Nice, that's a great exit. There we go, come on. Hey, thanks Flicker. That's actually something I like really struggle with. I always feel like my content's not that good. I feel like I'm just like saying the same stuff over. So hearing you say that makes me really happy, to be honest. I'm always trying to think of like new ways to make content, and I'm always worried I'm not like really providing that much value for you guys. So I'm super glad that's not the case. Alright, this setup's feeling really good. I think the issue with the rear traction was we just had too much body roll. We just didn't have enough camber. Because when we increased the rear camber and then we dropped the rear a little bit, mucho better. As I run off the track like an idiot. I'm just tired. I can tell. I'm gonna do a few laps here to see what the tire wear looks like though, and then we'll do a test race. Okay, that's awesome, man. Yeah, it's so much better through there. So much better. This car just has like this weird like turbo lag, and when it kicks in, it's like yeep. Like it just kicks in, you know? There we go though. Come on. 42.7, let's go. Nice. Little sketch on the exit, but not too bad. All right, we're hanging on to it. Oh no, I lost it. Shit. Come on, come back, please. There we go. Come on. Yeah, this setup feels money. So much better. And then I totally missed that, but whatever. Alright, we're happy with that, guys. 42.5. Let's go. All right, I'm super happy with that setup. Let's go ahead and look at the data. I'm just curious what the wheel spin looked like there. Yeah, let's see. What am I looking at? So the green, you can see at the exit we had way less roll. You can see the green lines like on top. We just had less roll through there. Let's look at the wheel spin. A little bit better. Oh, actually no, I lied. I don't have the car parameters dialed in. Let's type these in real quick. So it's the pink. So you can see a little bit better traction through there. See? Pink's just a little bit on top at that point where it had a little less roll. So I think it was the roll that was really causing the issues with the setup, guys. Want to look at the tire wear though, just real quick? Let's see. Okay, that's actually pretty even. 2.9, 2.89, 2.92, 2.92. So that's pretty good actually. What's the front? 6. What's that? 3.7, 6, 6. Okay. I'm happy with that. I think that's pretty good. We're going to save that at 0.8. All right, guys. I'm pretty happy with that setup. It felt really good. Like I tell everyone though, you don't want to just make these setups in these hot lap conditions. You want to, test race. Sometimes when you do the hot lap, you just make it a little bit too on the edge because you don't have anything being thrown at you, like someone braking on the middle of the corner or stuff like that. So I just like to do a race just to make sure that the setup is raceable. Is what I call it, just so that if unexpected things happen. And then we can also see what the tire wear and stuff like that is. But let's go ahead. I'm super happy with the setup. Let's get out, do a quick race, and then see how it goes. If you guys have any questions about anything I did, let me know. This was a little bit challenging, not gonna lie. I kind of struggled with it a little bit just to try to understand what was happening. The biggest thing with this car was we were just getting too much wheel slip on the exit, right? So as soon as we got on the throttle, that weight transfer or the load transfer comes back. The stiffer that rear, the quicker that tire has to react to it, and a lot of times we step over the line, right? We step over that limit. So I was trying to go softer, and that helped, but it wasn't where I wanted it to be. Still was a little bit too much wheel slip on the exit, so I was losing time down the straights. What ended up happening is I reduced the rear camber, thinking we had too much rear camber, and we weren't utilizing it all on the corner exit when we were trying to do straight line acceleration. But it was actually the opposite. I had so much roll in the rear of the car to try to get the downforce where I wanted it to be that we were rolling on the side tires a little bit. So I just increased the camber, dropped the rear ride height a click or two just to help with that, and it felt much better. The traction out of the corner was much better, and I didn't make the rear any softer or anything like that. So the lesson to be learned here is be mindful of how much roll is in the car and what your camber values are. The more the car is rolling, the more camber that you're going to need statically. So, make sure when you're checking those wheel slip graphs, check the roll graph too, if you're just kind of chasing your tail like we were. I knew something was up because we just weren't getting the behaviors that we wanted with the setup adjustment we were making. So I knew we were just not getting the whole picture. So that's why I looked at the roll graph and was able to resolve that. So let's go ahead and load up the race. We'll just do a 15-minute race, AI at 100. We'll start ourselves at the back. We'll do 20. We'll make this interesting for you guys. So it just depends, Cardo. I mean, every car is gonna be different, right? The amount of camber that a car loses due to roll depends on the suspension geometry. So you could have a car that rolls at like 2 degrees, and it's okay, and then you might have a car that like rolls at like 2 G's and just like is on the side of the tire, right? So you really have to kind of play with it. Typically, like you can look at the roll gradients, right? So if our tires are pulling 2 G's and we're right around like 0.3, that's around a degree at the limit. But yeah, you just kind of have to play with it a little bit. The thing that I was looking at that helped me was the wheel slip, to see if I was making changes, if that was improving. So I was using that as like my metric to figure out if I was going better or worse. And then I just tried to make it softer, didn't see anything, so I knew something was up. So that's why we looked at the roll gradients. I could just see that was a little bit too much roll on the rear. Dude, absolutely, Robin. Dude, thanks for tuning into this stream, man. I really appreciate that. If you guys like this stream, be sure to hit it with a like. If you don't like it, hit it with a dislike. Either way, it helps the activity, but I'm going to try to do more content like this. Andrew's been doing a lot of development work for RC, so it's freed me up to do more streams. I've done more of the writing on the Discord for like the blogs, but if there's anything you guys want to see, let us know. We'll try to do content about what you guys are interested in or what you're trying to find value in. But we are going to release these setups, the Kyalami setups. They're part of our official RC setups that we do for our endurance races. But I thought, what a good opportunity to show how I use RC, maybe some of the things that I'm thinking of, and just hang out and chat with you guys. So I'm glad you guys like it. Makes me super motivated. Way more motivating to hear that. But we're just gonna load the setup and go ahead and get in the race, guys.
Stay in double file.
My button box, I just have it like sitting up here and it's like almost falling off. It's really freaking me out. I didn't even check what conditions the race were set to. Let's see what the tire temps are. Oh no, we're good. Alright guys, we are starting in P20. AI is set at 100%. Let's see where we can end up. Just dragging the brake right now, trying to get some heat into the brake pads, which are then going to heat up the inside of the tire, which is then going to get the pressures up earlier than later, which is what I want for turn 1.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Alright, let's go, guys.
Go, go, go.
So AI, they're a little bit too cautious into turn 1, so I'm not going to just dive up the inside and take up like 10 positions. I'm just going to play like I'm an AI right here. Super slow.
Car on the left.
Pretty wide at a snail's pace, but we're through. Alright, now that we're a little spread out.
Clear on the right. Car on the right.
Alright. Dude, lurking's sometimes the best. I lurk a lot, so don't feel weird lurking. I appreciate lurking.
Car on the right. Clear on the right. Car on the right.
Woo, came into me just a little bit there. It's always way more interesting in the mid pack, right? You just have so many more people fighting for position. Like we do now, too wide through there. He's gonna get me right here though. He's on the inside for this turn.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Alright, we're right behind this Audi though. Let's see what happens. Hey, what's up, Zab? How's it going, man? I saw you in the SRO Discord, man. You gonna try to qualify for the SRO America series? I think we're gonna try to do that as well.
Clear on the right.
So I'm super excited to see how we all get on. We might have to like... Oh, this is super dangerous. Too wide through there. Oh, someone died. We might have to like, on the Discord, like collaborate a little bit on setups and stuff for the GT America. Yeah, dude, I'm already practicing. Maybe I'll wait to release the setups until after the qualifier. We'll see though. I don't really know how many people from America are that fast, honestly. Like most of the people I race with are in the European series. Wow, I totally just murdered that curve. But most of the guys I race with online, they're all in the European one, so we'll have to see. That's what I'm gonna do, Zab. I thought about trying a bunch of cars, but the Aston Martin's my baby, so I'm just gonna go with that one, I think. What I'm curious about is how are they gonna keep people from switching cars mid-race? Like, why wouldn't you just pick the best BOP'd car for every race? If you can just bounce between cars like that, you know? I don't know how they're gonna like constrain people to cars if they're already competed in like one of the earlier races, you know? Oh, that's kind of crappy. Oh well, whatever, we'll have to see. How did they know they're gonna be 100 to 150 millisecond ping though?
Car on the right.
The only way you would really know that is to get in the server. God damn, I hate that.
Car on the right.
I don't know if it's because I'm sitting lower in the Lexus, but I keep hitting that. Oh, custom bop. Okay, that makes sense.
But no, mate, the fastest lap so far.
Or we're going toe to toe with this Audi here.
Slow car.
I'm gonna go brave into the braking zone
Car on the
now.
right.
Got her done. Oh, everyone's sitting still.
Got some light.
What are they doing?
Slow car ahead.
What are they doing? That was really dumb. Yeah, I guess that's true. Gotta have 9 seconds of damage now. Car doesn't really feel any different though. Yeah, maybe I'll have to do like RST videos for each track at the qualifiers if I can make it in them. I'll have to see. It'd be kind of cool though, wouldn't it? Like as we compete, do some content around that.
Clear on the left.
Alright, we just got it done on the outside. Zap said, I know some of my teammates in England here are about 90 milliseconds ping to NYC, which other leagues use as a requirement. Yeah, that's kind of, I don't know. It kind of sucks though. I was wanting it to just be people like in South and North America, you know? But oh well. We'll see what happens. Alright, we're not really losing too much time down the straight, so I don't think that really damage is really affecting us that much. Nice. That felt good. Dunk said, I gotta go to bed. It's 4 a.m. here in the UK, but thanks. Oh, dude, no problem, man. Thanks for stopping by. I'm gonna try to stream, if not every day, every other day. So just always stop by if you can. But I hope you have a good night, man. Thanks again. Yeah, I thought about the endurance series, but problem is I couldn't find anyone that wanted to. Oh my God, what are they doing? What are they doing? This is so dumb.
Clear on the left.
I have so much damage now. I thought about doing the endurance series and like just paying for the entry fee, but I just can't find anyone that would want to like run it with me. All my friends are from the Europe, and they're like, nah, I'm good. Like Speed, I asked Speedy if he'd want to do it, and he doesn't want to. Yeah. Oh well, we can still test the car, see how it feels. Doesn't really feel any different, so let's keep going. Oh, is that what it is? How did they get? I wonder how they got terminally damaged. I've never, like, this has never been an issue for me before. This is like the 4th or 5th car, and I've never seen that before.
We're halfway through. Keep it up.
Yeah, that was really nice. Daddy's all over me. Oh, that's all it took for him to mess me up.
Clear on the left.
Yeah, the Lexus is one of my favorite cars, honestly. It
Yellow flag, be careful.
the way it has like the weight distribution. What is good? It's that Audi again, just sitting there. Look, the weight distribution of the Lexus is really, really good. It in endurance races, it really doesn't have a big issue with you know, like the fronts being over or under temperature. Same with the rear. Like the front and rear stays pretty close to the same temperature, which is really nice for an endurance race. Nothing's more frustrating than having a really good car, and then as the temps comes down, the fronts just go out the window and you just start pushing, right? That's like so annoying, and this car's just really good with that. Lexus is definitely one of my top car choices. Yeah, it really is easy to control. You get like, it just has like, you can really feel it load up too, you know? I have so much damage now, I'm kind of like a sitting duck.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Yeah, the Honda is really bad with that. I haven't really driven the Honda in so long. I really like that car too. Do not go too wide here.
Right. Clear on the right.
He thought about it. He definitely thought about it, didn't he?
Car is exiting the pits, watch out.
Look at all these. Why is that Audi still going on the track? There's no sense. A little too early on the throttle there. So that's one thing I noticed in Lexus is if it doesn't really have a big warm up here at race start, and you can really put the pressure early on while drivers are baby. Yep. Yeah, very true. Yeah, it's because of the way it just loads the tires. Like, it's really, really good for endurance races with like mixed conditions, in my opinion. I know they like, it used to be so overpowered in rain races too, but I know they kind of nerfed that just a little bit. Yeah, I have a lot of front damage now. I can tell because this is pushing through there.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Good exit there though. Hey, what's up, Jay? How's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing okay.
Clear on the left.
God, he's right on my ass, isn't he?
Car on the right.
This guy keeps diving up the inside. Come on.
Clear on the right.
Oh, hey man. Long time no talk. How you been doing? Hopefully life's been treating you well. I got 2 more minutes.
Slow car ahead.
Yeah, no doubt, dude. That was insane. That was so much fun. Oh my god. Not again, dude. AI, dude. You cannot make that up. Been good, man. Just been busy with RST. We've been doing these streams on ACC, trying to like set up the car and walking people through the data, and it's just been a lot of fun. I know, dude. I can't help but laugh. It's just like puttering. Like, dude, just go in already. Like, where the hell is the marshal? Like, why is that car not black flagged? Like, freaking black flag that car. Jesus. The car is so janky now because of all the damage, but it's okay. I have like, what? Yeah, 15 seconds of damage now. After this, I'm gonna watch the replay of like what is going on with that other car. What, do you guys have a preference for the next stream? Any cars? We're getting kind of close. I think we're a little bit over halfway now for the Kyalami setups being done. Like I said, one thing I noticed is a lot of Lexus subs run 3-5 clicks higher front right height than min. Does it stall? No. It actually, the arrow curve on this one's really interesting. It actually really falls off like really quickly the higher you go. So they might just be doing that from like an arrow balance point of view. But with the oh my god, not again. We've done the Lambo, the Aston, the Porsche. I feel like we've done a few other ones, but we have a good amount still. We got like the Honda, the Bentley. I better step it up or I'm gonna get passed on the last corner. We did the Mercedes. All right. So we still got quite a bit. So if you think of one, just let me know. Oh, I still have the DIY Motion Sim J. My wife got me this rig for Christmas, and I really like it, so I've been using it. Is it? I just definitely tried the Bentley for sure. Then I want to see what's going on. Where's it at? Where's that? What number was that Audi? Do you guys know? I'm more interested in the Audi than I am my own car. Oh, damn! Did you see that? Where was that car at? Oh my god. What do you think? Okay, before we see what happened, what do you think happened to it? Why do you think it had terminal damage? Do you think it just ran into someone? Yeah, look at my car. Jesus. No wonder it was starting to understeer so bad. Where is that? Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, it's this one. Okay, what do you guys think happened? Let me know in the comments before I go back. Look, why did he, like, retire, dude? He just putted around for another 4 or 5 laps? Jesus. Alright, we're gonna go back. What I think happened... You think it was the number 25 car? Oh, there it is. Okay, let's see what happened. Coming into this... left-hander. What happened? I don't see anything so far. Oh, the curve. Damn. Oh yeah, that curve. Okay, we gotta see that from that angle again. Okay, we gotta We gotta pause this real quick. Why isn't it not oh, you know what? It's because this. Alright, we gotta watch this in slow-mo real quick. Like we have to see this in slow-mo. Let's do it. Alright, that should be a good. You think that's a good angle? Maybe like we could do this right here. No, I think it'll be too close. Alright, we gotta. Alright, here we go. Slow-mo. Someone's about to get murdered. Look at it. He just took all of the curve through there. Look at him. Literally two-wheeled the whole way. The crappy thing is he like saved it kinda, but then he just like came into too hot. Damn. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I've become a king at mastering the camera in ACC. Why did he turn back into the track? Look, he's turned into the track there. Murdered. Murdered. Boom. That Mercedes didn't give a fuck, did he? He just like full speed into him. Dead. That's a sad picture right there. Alright, I'm gonna go. Let's go look at my car now. Oh, there I am. Right there. Okay. I'm just curious. I want to see what the body language of the car is. Car felt, before the 15 seconds of damage, it felt really good. So I'm pretty happy with the setup, I think, guys. It's a great looking car though, isn't it? Look at that thing. Oh yeah, I hit that curve pretty bad too. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but it was definitely like you couldn't race with it, you know? Like if that was an actual race, I would have pitted to fix it. I hate how when in replay mode the cursor doesn't go away. It's so annoying. Yeah, car looks great. You can tell it really isn't giving me any issues. We definitely resolved that corner exit oversteer that we were having before though. Car felt really good on throttle. Alright, let's see when I murder that car. Was it already past this point? Let's see. Oh yeah, look at my hood. Yeah, definitely past that point. I think it was right here is where I killed him. Yeah, boom. I had like nowhere to go right there. Look at, look, dude, look at that. Wait a second, look at that. We have to see that from that angle. Why won't it let me, okay, there we go. No, car felt really good, man. But let's look at this, though. Look at the, look at that, dude. Like, on the apex, like a boss. He's like, I'm like, going 5 miles an hour, but I'm gonna stay on this apex. Jesus. Oh, I wish that Ferrari would give him a tap. Dude, if he would have given him a tap, I would have laughed so hard. Alright. Alright, guys. I think that's going to be it. The setups, guys. This was part of the stream for our Kyalami RST official setups. We're going to be releasing those setups for you guys to be able to buy on our website here in probably about a week or two. We still got half the cars to go, and then after I finish the cars, Speed Demon's gonna load them, and we're gonna do a bunch of analysis on the tire wear and things like that. this is just kind of in the place where it felt really good. Again, just to kind of recap, the car was a little bit of a handful. Really struggled with the high speed stability with those aerodynamics in the beginning. We were getting a little bit too much front ride height compression, which was causing a little bit of too much oversteer on the downhill right-hander. We added some bump stop that prevents the front from getting too low, which reduces that front aero, which helped us with that center balance. We then were having a little bit of issue with the corner exit, so we softened the rear. We didn't really get anywhere with that, so we were kind of struggling for a little bit just to figure out how we could improve that corner exit wheel spin that we were getting. What we ended up finding out was that the car was rolling a lot in the corners that we were really losing out on the time. So instead of softening it up, we kept it soft, but we then just what did we do? We dropped the rear ride height a click, and then we added more rear camber, because the more the car rolls, the more static camber you need to combat that loss of camber you have when the car's rolling. So that fixed it. Car felt really good, very stable, very easy to race, other than getting 15 seconds of damage. But I'm super happy with that result. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. I'll try to address them, reply to them as much as I can. If you're not part of our Discord, the RST Discord, check it out. I've started a new blog where I talk about some of the fundamentals about car dynamics. We talk about things like under-the-body dynamics. Sorry, that was my wife. Under-the-body aerodynamics, and we just finished an article talking about the intermittent out temperatures. But go check it out if you really find those things interesting. I try to post it every day. And if you like the channel, go ahead and hit me with a subscribe. I try to stream. We're gonna try to stream every day, or at the very least every other day, talking about setups. We are even talking about maybe doing something for learning a track. So maybe we go through the data and I show you guys how to practice and things that you can look like in the data to develop as a driver. But that's all coming up. Again, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for stopping in and enjoying the stream. Always so much more fun when you guys are here. But love you all. My name is Zach from RST, and I hope you guys have a good night, and I'll catch you guys later.